Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another round of Mind Your Fucking Business with your host, Jeffrey Kluntzman.
Thank you, Dougie Sticks, coming to you from the beautiful studios of Undefeated Media here in Bergen County, New Jersey. This is the Mind Your Fucking Business podcast, brought to you, of course, by the Bamboozle Project as well as DraftKings. We thank them both for their sponsorship, and we encourage you, because we've been told through the grapevine, I don't know if it's true, that some of the prices might be going up on the BamboozleProject.com, that you should go on there and order everything that you want right now and use promo code MYPB. Save yourself 20% off your total order. This is episode number 207, 207 on the Spanish dial. We appreciate you tuning in if you're using those capabilities to listen to this week's episode. We are taping this episode on Wednesday, October 29th, just so you know where we are currently in time. If you are streaming it at a later time and want to know why we were talking about what we were talking about when we were talking about it, it's on October 29th. That is why. You can send us your questions, feedback, comments, concerns, anything you'd like at Mind Your Fucking Business, all one word. I will repeat that, at Mind Your Fucking Business. And you can listen to the show this morning live, if you would like, on both Instagram Live as well as Instagram and YouTube as well. I don't know why I had like a brain cramp there. Or you can stream it at any time you would like at Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. So if you want to see us and hear us, you can do so and find us and whatever method is easiest for you. How are you today, Mr. Doug?
Well, I mean, after that little hiccup, a little stressful, but we're good now.
You know, I would say that like doing 207 episodes now, which is crazy, you definitely will have a couple shows where like there's pre-show issues or technical stuff. I don't think this one was too bad. I mean, I could think back to like the season debut episode this year where it was like, what is going on?
Everything blew up.
Everything blew up at the worst time. But hey, at least last week when Sam Rosen was with us, that was the key one we needed to get right, and we got that one right.
I mean, if it was an NFL record, I mean, we're pretty much like 190 out of 207. I mean,
yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
That'd be a pretty good record.
Speaking of good records or not good records, however you want to look at it, let's start with the Rangers as always, and we'll go in chronological orders. We always do around here from when we were on last. And when we were on last Wednesday, they had lost 2 nights prior to Minnesota at home, which unfortunately I was at. And San Jose was coming into the Garden a night later on Thursday. And San Jose had not won a game. I'm going to say this twice. So I'm going to say it once, and then I'm going to say it again. Yeah. You're going to say, well, why are you going to repeat it? Because I need to say this twice. So Here we go. San Jose had not won a game before they played at the Garden since Thursday, March 27th.
The worst team in the league.
Yes. So I'm going to repeat it because I said I'm going to say it twice. I'm going to say it twice. San Jose had not won a game since Thursday, March 27th. And they played the Rangers on October 23rd. Before. No, this year. Well, like the previous season, same calendar year. Yes, they hadn't won a game all year. Gotcha. If you are a New York Ranger fan, and I am going to assume if you listen to us and you subscribe to us, and I thank all of you that do that, you guys are the best. But if you do that, and you've been a fan of this team for maybe 30 years, 10 years, maybe you got into New York Ranger hockey 2 years ago when they went on the President's Cup trophy or President's Trophy winning season, you will know that there was a high likelihood, because that's what the Rangers do, that they would be the team that San Jose would beat for their first win in 7 months. It just was. And you knew that you wouldn't bet the mortgage that San Jose would win, but you wouldn't bet the mortgage either that the Rangers would beat a team that hadn't won in 7 months. The San Jose game was incredibly frustrating. I could start with the end of the game in overtime. And if you watch the NHL overtime, which is now 3-on-3, the entire key to overtime is one word, right? Possession. Or I should say 2 words, puck possession. And Igor, who did not have a good night, and Igor's allowed to not have a good night. It can happen from time to time. He's human. Decided to airmail a pass basically down 7th Avenue that got intercepted and gave up the possession. The Rangers then got possession back. And JT Miller I don't know if he overskated on the puck, because if you watch it again, and I've watched this replay a lot to figure out what actually happened, and I can't come up with any logical conclusion when I watch it 50 times, just completely skated and lost the puck and gave up possession. You can highlight in that San Jose game positive, which is the Taylor Radish hat trick. Taylor Radish now, and I said this in the postgame recap, Taylor Radish now, you can almost guarantee will score no more than 3 goals the rest of the season. He basically maximized his entire season total in one game to get you excited, because Taylor Radish is not a goal scorer. Taylor Radish is not a good hockey player either. So he probably won't score now until February, just so you know. If you notice, he hasn't scored in the last 2 games, which is normal for Taylor Radish. What infuriated me the most about that game was not the JT Miller turnover in OT, was not Igor giving up the puck possession. It was the fact that in the first and second period, the Rangers let up a goal in the last 10 seconds of each period. I believe they said on the broadcast on Thursday night, and this would make sense, that was the second time only in NHL history, not New York Ranger history, I'm talking NHL history, where a team has let up a goal to the opposing team in the last 10 seconds of the period twice in a game. That is remarkable to me, because what you have when that happens is it's a complete momentum changer. That's why you don't want to let up a goal in the last 10 seconds one time in a game, let alone twice. And even more infuriating, when you drill it down, was the fact that at the end of the second period with 10 seconds left, the Rangers are up 4-3. They have controlled that second period. They went into the second period down 3-1, ended up 4-3. So the momentum was completely in their favor, as about to go to the third period and let up a goal by leaving a player who is the number 1 draft pick in the last 2 years, Macklin Celebrini, wide open in the slot. Totally inexcusable. There's times where you can complain about things that happen with this team or any sports team in general, and you can understand, like, hey, this happened because of this, and this happened because of that, and I can give them excuse. To let up a goal in a game in 2 separate periods in the last 10 seconds is completely unexcusable. You cannot sugarcoat it. You cannot defend that. It's not okay. And the Rangers go on to lose 6-5 in overtime to a team that had not won
ever this year.
Yes. Now, in the post-game thing that I did on Thursday night, what I try to do with it, and it might not be the best idea, but if you notice, the post-game recaps go up pretty quickly after a game, because I like to talk off the fly without thinking, which is sometimes dangerous. And I was very harsh on JT Miller, because in the moment, I just watched him turn the puck over. And I was very tough on Lafreniere as well. And 3 games or a week later, when we get to where we get to in time in a couple minutes, that story isn't going to be changed. The Rangers, look, you have now not won at MSG. You're 0-5. And probably the best thing for them to do, if I go back in time to last Thursday night after the game, is go as far away from MSG as possible, because nothing is working at the world's most famous arena this year. And so the schedule makers not decide, because it was decided previously, I guess, over the summer, but the schedule makers did it where, hey, after that San Jose game, you guys are going to pick up and head for Western Canada and Seattle for 9 days, as the Rangers left actually a day early to get acclimated to the time. They left on Friday for the Sunday night game in Calgary. The Calgary game, Calgary is 1-8. They have lost 8 games in a row. I'm going to sense a little theme here today on episode number 207. When you went into that Sharks game and you knew the Sharks hadn't won since March, would you be surprised if San Jose beat you, which they did? No. So 3 days later, when you're playing a team that has not won in 8 games, that's scratched, actually healthy scratched on that game, Coronado, one of their best players, would you be surprised if the Rangers lost and gave Calgary their first win in 8 games? Dougie Sticks, would you be surprised?
I'm not surprised.
No, you wouldn't. Sunday night might have been, I have to be careful of what I say here. I would need to think about it. But it was one of the worst games I have watched in so long. And I need to be careful because I could throw so many games of last season into like the worst game I've watched. I could put the Buffalo game I was at last November, which I actually left after the second period. I've never left a game so early in my life. I didn't even leave games that early when my kids were little and they had school the next day. I would stay longer than I did to that Buffalo game. That's how bad that game was. But the Calgary game was up there.
Mhm.
Calgary game, everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. Right away, they're down early. How in the world, and I said this on the postgame recap, and one of the Devils' Instagram pages, B-Rock will appreciate this. I think it's like Jesper Brokrist or whatever. It's a Devil page, but they like to poke fun at the Rangers, which is fine if they want to do, though. Actually pointed this out as well. I was impressed that the Rangers were on a power play in the third period. Now, you have a 5-on-4 power play. Let me just, for those of you that might be new to the game, let me just give you a little 101 lesson here on how asinine and unacceptable this is. You have more players on the ice than the other team. You're on a power play. You, at that point in time, not including goalies,
You have the power.
have 5 players.
Yes.
Calgary has 4.
Yes.
You're also at that point in the game, I believe you're down 3-1. So it's a very important power play because you need to score to get back in the game. You have more players than the other team.
True.
How in the world does the other team have a 2-on-0 breakaway shorthanded?
2-on-0, by the way.
2-on-0.
Not 1. 2-on-0.
You could deal, and you've seen shorthanded breakaways before,
Mm-hmm.
but a 2-on-0, like you didn't show up on Sunday night. The only thing that you could talk about Sunday night, if you want to be positive, optimistic, whatever you want to say, is that Noah Laba got his first goal, and then actually he almost scored again quickly thereafter and didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Calgary is a game that I don't know. I'm not even going to waste my time going into it more because it just was awful, absolutely awful.
True. Atrocious.
So I was thinking Sunday night, just to go off a second on a like story, because you guys like when I talk about my kids around here. This is like one of the feedbacks we get, and I don't talk about them that much. But I thought about something with this Calgary game, and it was that, it was very reminiscent of last season, which was when they didn't show up, right? And games they didn't show up. They just were never in. The Devils game right before Christmas. I mean, the Philly game I went to. I could give you a million examples from last year. But then I thought, and this is where my kids come in, that 2 years ago in the President's Trophy year, where almost everything went right? I mean, obviously the end didn't, but for the regular season, almost everything went right. And the difference between last year and this year versus that President's Trophy winning year was how they would bounce back when they had awful games. And the only game that I could think of 2 years ago, I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure I am right on this. The worst game that they played that entire 2023-2024 President's Trophy winning season, of which they won, they finished with the best record.
Best record in the entire NHL.
The worst game of that entire year had to have been a December game that I went to with my wife and kids in Washington. Okay. That Saturday, there was a Saturday night game in DC. And at that point, the Rangers had been playing out of their mind, right? They lost 4-0. There was not a single positive to take out of that game. We got up in the morning, we drove, we stopped at Chaps Pit Beef, where if you ever go to DC for either sports-related things or for tourist-related stuff, stop at Chaps Pit Beef off I-95. I promise you, it's on Diners, Diamonds, and Drives. It's worth it. So we go there, we spend the day in DC with the kids. It was like kind of unseasonably warm on a Saturday. We probably walked 17,000 steps going to show them the White House and all these other things. We bought my son a pair of the most overpriced sneakers you've ever seen at Macy's across from the Marriott Hotel we were staying at. It just was a really good family day. And then that night, we went to a game, and there were a ton of Ranger fans. The Rangers always represent well in DC, especially when it's a Saturday night, because it's easy to get down there. Most people don't have work the next day, and the Rangers just didn't show up. And I remember leaving the arena, walking back to the Marriott that night, and I didn't care, because you just had a feeling with that group 2 years ago, they would find a way to move on. The next night, they played back in New York, the Sunday, against the Kings, who at the time were 16-4. Now, you just lost on the road 24 hours later in your worst game of the year, and you respond by beating the Kings 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows you, the lesson is that games like the Calgary game 3 nights ago happen. It's okay, but it's how you bounce back. And 2 years ago's group, which obviously was a special one, and one that you all remember well and wish we had again, for that matter,
Mm-hmm.
you need to be able to bounce back from them. All right? Let's fast forward to last night in Vancouver. I looked at last night where most people, the 10 o'clock starts during the week are awful. There's no way to fix it. You can't change the way time zones are. You just got to deal with it. You prefer it. Like the Rangers will get a break on Saturday. They play at 10 o'clock in Seattle. It's a Saturday, and you also gain an hour of sleep on Sunday night because you lose an hour. So it actually kind of works out. Last night, if you stayed up for it, and I don't know why I did, because I will be honest with you, I was kind of like, you think I stay up for these games, and I try to. Last night, I was like, I don't really know that I want to. Less than a minute into the game, the Rangers had an awful giveaway in front that Jonathan Quick made like a world-class save on a guy. I mean, it was just like, again, leaving a guy wide open in front, no one picking up the man, terrible start. Right away, it looked like the same. Overall, if you watch the game, it was a pretty boring game. It wasn't one that would be most exciting. And if it's 11 o'clock at night on a Tuesday or midnight when you're watching this, when you're watching a boring game like this, it kind of wants to put you to sleep. Will Cooley made a great pass late in the first to Mika Zibanejad. The Rangers get on the board to go up 1-0. And then Sam Carrick hits an empty netter actually from his own blue line. I don't even know. I mean, Sam Carrick is not a sniper. And when you look at the way he wasn't even looking when he shot it, it was like actually to me, when I thought about this, when they showed the replay during the game, I'm like, wow, that was actually a break. Because if Sam Carrick does that shot 100 times, it's not going in 100 times. The Rangers got a break because it went in and going up 2-1, iced the game. Now, you had said to me before we went on that you were up and like you saw there were a ton of chances for them.
Ton of chances. And I was tired. I had to be up early. I have a networking brunch that breakfast I go to every Wednesday morning. And I'm like trying to turn the TV off, but I knew there's 2 minutes left in the game. And I'm watching this. I'm like, I can't turn this off. As soon as I turn off the TV, they're going to blow this.
Yeah.
Like, and they almost did. There was a ton of chances.
They did.
Puck on the doorstep. Here's my question to you. Whenever it's the opposite, when we're in this situation and, you know, we're down 1, like within 5 seconds, the other team scores. Like they take the puck from us and they put it in the empty net. Like the
Rangers have had trouble with that this year. That's actually a really good point. This year, particularly the home games that I was at, because I've seen it now happen 3 times, because I was at the Edmonton, Washington, and Minnesota game. I'm not saying this is wrong, but it's something that the Rangers are doing. They're pulling the goalie very early. Yeah. And that's that. But I understand both sides. Speaking
but the other team scores within like 10 seconds. We're not even like, it's not even being useful. Like the other team takes the puck and scores instantly. Like why can't we get chances like last night?
Well, the value of a backup goalie, again, Jonathan Quick last night. You know, when you think of Jonathan Quick's age, he's 2-1. The Washington game that I was at, he lost 1-0 on a ridiculous deflection by Anthony Beauvillier on Washington. That's the only goal he let up. He didn't let up anything last night. Obviously, in Montreal, where they won last week, he had a bad start, but he settled down. The value of your backup goalie, especially with the way a lot of other things are going, for your backup goalie to be 2-1, I mean, it's pretty darn impressive. Now, there's a question that I have, and I don't know if people know the answer. You know, I also wonder, because the quality of chances against last night was not that high. Is the team playing different in front of Jonathan Quick mentally? Like you're a little bit stingier on defense and the quality of chances that you're letting up. I mean, they really might be doing so. They might not be letting up as much quality chances because they know they have quote unquote their backup in. Because it does seem like Igor is definitely facing higher quality, higher danger chances. But I mean, you cannot overestimate the value of your backup goalie, who is now 38 years old, I think, playing at the level he still does. So a good win for them in Vancouver last night. I don't mind. Look, it's more exciting to watch a 6-5 game than it is a game last night 2-0 with an empty netter.
Mhm.
But it might not be the worst thing for this team to win a boringish style game right now. This team is not, and this team is not built, newsflash, to win game 7-6. That's not how this team has ever been built at all. So a good win there. They go to Edmonton tomorrow, and you'll get Igor, and then Seattle to wrap up the Western road trip on Saturday night, and then home on Tuesday versus Carolina. And it sounds like Keandre Miller is hurt. I don't think he's going to be back. I think he's out long term. It doesn't sound like Keandre will be playing in that game when Carolina comes to MSG on Tuesday. So the Rangers now find themselves with 10 points out of, 11 of 22. So they've played 11 games and they have 10 points.
So do you feel like I don't feel like we found our identity yet. I don't think we know what this team is yet. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, and that's a good segue into my next topic, by the way.
Unrehearsed.
Well, you also have to look at it this way. If the team was 11-0 or 0-11, I don't know that you'd be able to sit there and say you definitively knew their identity anyway because you had a new coach. That takes time.
True.
Right? So that's one thing. What people want to do, and it's something I want to, and I'm not directing this at anyone in particular. I do this myself. Yeah. But a lot of people, and you know who you are. I'm not talking to one person. I don't even have like people in general, actually. It's just an overall statement. When they lost to San Jose and they lost to Calgary, people all of a sudden, whether it's the people on TikTok that post stuff, whatever, right? Season's over. Gavin McKenna, who's going to be the number 1 draft pick next year. We're tanking for McKenna. The season's over. You cannot tell me or anyone before the calendar month is out of October, which is the first month of a 6-month season, that you know that the season is over. Okay. Last year, and we all remember how awful last year was. The Rangers started out incredible in October. Then they went on a road trip in the beginning of November. And if I remember correctly, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, it was the original 6 road trip where they went to Detroit, Toronto, and Montreal, I believe. Swept right through the original 6 road trip. They were playing great hockey. How did the season then end up, right? They ended up terrible. Point being is you all want to jump to conclusions. The season is over, or the Devil fans who don't watch the show, but I got to deal with on social media, that believe that they've already won the Stanley Cup because going into last night, they'd won 8 in a row until they lost. Like, Stanley Cups are not won in October. Would you rather have a good October or a bad October? Of course you'd rather have a good one. You'd rather win every game. But it's ridiculous to me that people are coming to these foregone conclusions. Like, you know what? The season's over. The Ranger season's going to – you better sell all your tickets now, man. You have season tickets because no one's going to want your tickets in February. You can't make that conclusion on October 29th. Now, to give you a little statistical backup, like a factual data of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. DraftKings. All right.
Yeah.
They have a bet that you can make on every NHL team at this current point in time. And I looked as of this morning, which is again Wednesday, October 29th. Will this team, yes or no, make the playoffs? What do you think the Rangers' odds are to make the playoffs, and what do you think they are to not? This is Vegas. Now, Vegas is not always right, obviously, but it should give you an insight. And the Ranger odds are going to give you a little bit even more of an insight than regular odds. I'm going to tell you why when I tell you the odds. But what do you think the odds are?
So I'm not good with the math and the odds, but I would say they have like a 70% chance of making the playoffs.
You have a 70% chance of making it. I'm going to ask B-Rock. B-Rock, give me a percent chance. Rangers. Now, B-Rock is a double fan, but he's not biased. He's like me. He tries to look at what percent chance in Vegas right now do you think they have the Rangers making the playoffs? B-Rock says 40-45. All right, so I'm going to give it to you in odds, and then I'll break down the odds in case you don't know, what odds mean. So right now, if you went on and you said the Rangers are going to make the playoffs, you're getting a payout at plus 120. If you're saying no, it's minus 140. So it's basically saying it's about a 45% chance they make the playoffs. Almost 50-50. So B-Rock is actually really close. He knows his stuff. So if this is also what I want to point this out, if you're telling me that it's almost 50-50, how can you tell me that you know? Right? If it was 90-10, if it was 80-20, then you know what? If you're standing on the leg that's 80%, you probably have a good chance of being right. You could be wrong. But when the odds are really 55% and 45%, you don't know if they're making the playoffs, and you don't know if the season's over.
That's
so
what my point
so
was.
shut up.
We don't know what kind of team we got here.
Yeah, you cannot tell me that you know at this point. You also, and Sean is saying this on Instagram, they were 16-4 last year, right? So they started out well. And Vincent Trocheck is coming back. Now, does Vincent Trocheck coming back solve and is the magic elixir that fixes all the problems that this team has? No, he doesn't, but he helps. I mean, one thing that the Vincent Trocheck injury has shown you, and not in a good way, is the massive lack of depth this team has. It's not like okay, one player has gone out of the lineup and it hasn't created a ripple effect down the rest of the lines. No, it has. And there's no way around it.
True.
So to me, 50-50, just a comment who's writing it on the YouTube chat, is a coin flip, is my point. If it's a coin flip, you can't tell me definitively you're going to bet the mortgage the season's over. Like I can't deal with that.
Similar kind of question here. So if it was like 1 to 10 on the scale, right? 1 out of 10, 10 being like the most likely you would do this. What is the most? Where are you standing right now when it comes to pushing the panic?
I'm not pushing the panic. You can't.
Out of 1 out of 10, are you like at a 3
on pushing the panic?
Like, are you? How close are you to panicking right now? Scale of 1 to 10.
On 1 to 10.
Yes. Are you? When do we? Are we close to panic mode?
3. I'm a 3.
Okay.
We're not close.
I'm not saying we're close to pushing the panic button. I'm just saying how close
things
you
would
panicking.
have to go for you to panic before the first calendar month of the season is off. Things would have to go.
We were panicking in the first week if they didn't get a win.
That's not what I said. Let me reiterate what I said. I had said when we were on the morning after they lost to Edmonton.
Yes.
I said I'm sorry. It was after the Pittsburgh home opener game. I said if they didn't get any wins going to Pittsburgh and Buffalo,
by the next episode,
and they won 2 of those 4 games. Yeah. So I'm not panicking.
So that resets the panic clock.
Are there reasons to be concerned, or things that you could look at with this team and say, you know what, this might be an issue? Yes, of course. But it's also the fact that it's early on that I'm not going to like panic.
Yeah. So we're at a 3 or 4.
One thing where they have not been doing well, I believe they're 3 for their last 28. I think I saw that somewhere, is the power play. Why I wouldn't be worried as much about the power play is if you've watched, they are not putting the puck in the net on the power play. They're also not putting the puck in the net on anything, but they are moving the puck, particularly the first power play unit is actually moving pretty well. Like they're getting chances. Some of these will go in for sure. And I know why you're laughing. I could see. I'm not even going to address it. So a couple other things. JT Miller, and I went at, I've been hard on JT Miller the last few weeks. Last night again, I don't want to get on certain people in the broadcasting world, so I'm not going to mention names. If I hear about the importance of last night's game and how it's the JT Miller story going back to Vancouver, I could give 2 you-know-whats about JT Miller's return to Vancouver. How about you just win a game? Miller last night had an opportunity. If you think that it meant that much for him to go back, the other player that I get on here, and I'm telling you, I am at a point where I'm about to go off on this guy. We're not there yet, but we're getting close.
Oh, boy.
And that's Alexis Lafreniere.
Uh-oh.
Lafreniere made a pass to JT Miller on the first period, a gorgeous pass. That he one time, it was like basically a tip-in, and he missed it. So JT Miller, the Rangers, they'll tell you like Rempe's out for a while or Trocheck's coming back. This organization tells you nothing specifically with injuries. So we still don't know what exactly happened with JT Miller in training camp. He still has to be hurt. There is no way to me that JT Miller is 100%.
Look at this.
No
way.
There you go. No way. There you go with your favorite sound effects. With other areas of my life.
So we got one of my favorite comments of the day so far. Oh, that's not the one.
No, you pull that one up. You can pull up Dennis's comment because
Okay.
I saw it up there. I'll get to it. And that's saying that you want to go on Lafreniere but not Panarin. I didn't say Panarin gets a pass, but if you look at the point totals, Panarin is at least producing something.
And then
he's not doing what he should. But Lafreniere is already a ghost. It's not even Halloween. Very good. That is true. That is Lafreniere's costume. If you saw, and I put it up on Instagram, Lafreniere did dress up for Halloween.
What was his costume? Ghost?
I forgot. You know, Dennis wants to get on Panarin, and that's fine. You can get on Panarin, but how you don't also get on Miller and Lafreniere is beyond me. You know, Lafreniere, I'm not gonna go down this road now because there's way too much time that I would want to spend on this, and I don't have the time. Has been unnoticed. I mean, completely unnoticeable. And just also the other thing with Lafreniere, if you look at his body language, he seems just so unengaged. I still cannot believe that this was sold to us as the number one draft pick, a generational talent. Like it's mind-boggling.
How does that like? How can so many people be wrong? Like who's the one saying? Who's the top 5 influencer of the top 5 in the draft? Like everyone was on board for this.
Yeah, everyone.
No, everyone was on board.
You can't get on Chris Drury or Jeff Gordon, who was the general manager at the time, because of drafting Alexis Lafreniere, because he was the consensus number 1 pick, right? Whoever ended up with that lotto ball was taking him. So you can't get on Jeff Gordon and say, you know what, you moron, you took Alexis Lafreniere, because that was your highest likelihood of panning out, right? But as Dennis is saying, and he's right, you drafted a bust. I mean, at what point with Lafreniere? And it's a discussion, and I wanted to get into this, and we don't have time. We'll do this another day. When you look at like the contract situation right now, and Lafreniere being here to 2032, and the fact that you could have traded Othman for Jacob, Gensel and didn't do it. You could have traded Kravtsov and got Jack Eichel. Like Lafreniere's stock is just going down. So is he going to be the next person that you hold on to for far too long? You hold on to your card until it has no value, and you can't exchange it for something else? I don't know. It probably does. And Chris as well wants to get on Panarin, as he always does. But you can get on Panarin, but that I'm not talking about Panarin right now. You still, if your answer to the JT Miller disappearing act, but I think he's hurt, and Lafreniere being invisible, is to just always come back to talking about where's Panarin. How about we address what we're talking about, which is JT Miller and Lafreniere? Panarin made in the first period last night. I think it was the first period. Yes, I think it was the end of the first period. Last night at the blue line, made an atrocious defensive, and Chris will like this, made an atrocious defensive play on the blue line. The puck came up the boards, and it was on like, so it was whoever the left defenseman was for Vancouver. And he had the puck, and he stopped, and Panarin basically skated right past him, and then kind of hockey stopped right before he hit the boards. It was awful. It was really, really bad. So I'm with you on the Panarin front. That has he been good? No. And if I'm Panarin financially, being that I'm in a contract year, I really want to be good. This is not good time. But Panarin not being good doesn't mean that nobody else gets the criticism.
Oh, absolutely.
And yes, right now, Dennis, JT Miller is a bigger problem to discuss than Panarin. 100%. To me, JT Miller's here a lot longer. He's here to 2030. If Panarin's a problem, he's out of here in June. Goodbye.
And he's your captain.
And he's your captain. Right now, JT Miller is 100% a bigger issue than Artemi Panarin. Now, maybe I give JT Miller a pass a little bit because he's hurt. But if you're hurt and you're not doing anything, sit out.
Get off the ice.
Get off the ice. Let someone else play and rest up so that you could be good.
Yeah.
And the other thing Dennis has said on there, which I completely agree with, is Sam Carrick has been great. If Sam, I saw someone the other day posted, one of the Twitter people, maybe it was, I think it was NYR Louie, had posted grades for the first month of the season, and he got most of them right. The only thing I would disagree with was Carrick had the second highest grade behind Adam Fox, and that's not to say Adam Fox hasn't been good, but Sam Carrick should get the highest grade. Sam Carrick has been great. Forget the fact that he hit the empty net last night. I mean, if he does that again, he's not hitting that 100 out of 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. And Dennis, we can disagree on that because 100%, and everyone on Instagram is saying the same thing, that JT Miller is way bigger of an issue right now than Panarin. Again, Panarin can leave. If Panarin's an issue, he's out of here, and he might be out of here anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But and Mika has been good. I'd never, you know what, Mika?
I never thought I heard you say that.
Mika hasn't been vintage Mika, but he also hasn't been atrocious last year, Mika.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other thing with Mika as well, remember the plan for him this season was for him to be a wing because playing with JT Miller. That's again where this Trocheck injury came in and deferred the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So if Mike Sullivan's thinking is, hey, I can get the most out of Mika on the wing for Miller, he's been doing what he's doing without even being there.
True.
So, and some of you like Sean are saying that on Instagram that Mika, some of these people didn't have a preseason, which matters. But to say that you then got to analyze it in December, you would have played in 6 preseason games. You've got to be able to be better by now. So we will see. So they go to Edmonton tomorrow night, which is not usually an easy place to play. Igor, I don't think statistically, if someone wants to look this up, I don't know if I'm right on this, but I'm pretty sure Igor doesn't always play well. I know he had that game where Connor McDavid had that crazy end-to-end goal where they won 6-5. Nikolai is in from South Carolina, I can see on the YouTube chat. So they'll be there, and then they will be in Seattle. Seattle is also not good. Seattle lost last night. Speaking of last night, can we talk about something with the NHL that involves Seattle as well?
Absolutely.
The NHL last night does this frozen frenzy idea where they say that we're going to have every team play on one night. This is the NHL in a nutshell.
Exact same time.
Well, no, we're going to have everyone one play in one night.
Yeah.
I've got a couple questions. Yeah. Why are we doing that on a Tuesday? Mm-hmm. Why are we doing that against the World Series on a night the World Series is going on?
Why isn't it like a Friday night?
And then why put the Rangers and Montreal, 2 original 6 teams, on the West Coast so that the starts local time in New York are 10,
so dumb.
and in Montreal it's 10:30.
Why didn't they make it like a whole Saturday?
I'm pretty sure that's what they did in the past. I'm highly
all day Saturday. Start a game at 10 a.m. and the last game starts at 10 p.m. and just have like everyone playing all day.
I'm highly confident that when the NHL has done this before, it's been on a weekend. It's been on a Saturday.
Should be.
Why would you do it on a Tuesday?
Stupid.
And why would you go up against the World Series? Not that I care about the World Series. I could care less.
You want less struggle to
you want less struggle
back.
to and then the other thing is you put the Rangers in Montreal on the West Coast.
Chris thinks that they don't want to take college football slots, but then make it a Friday.
Oh, Johnny's saying it was always on a Tuesday, which may be true. For some reason, I tend to remember there was a day, because I remember there was a bet on DraftKings. It was called like Grand Salami total goals on a Saturday, because every game was going on, and you could bet, like, it was an over-under for every NHL game, all 16 games. I thought it was a weekend. But I don't understand why they do it against the World Series. And again, you have 2 of your original 6 teams on the West Coast. So locally, your time is off.
If I'm the NHL too, just like we got here, like, I don't like, I'm not a big college sports kind of like guy. Like, I'd rather watch the NFL. I'd rather watch the NBA, but whatever. I feel like if the NHL did that and their only the World Series, you're shooting yourself in the foot. But I feel like a lot of people would rather watch the NHL than college football. But that's just me.
Yeah, I like Johnny's idea of 3:00 on a Friday. Now, Alexander on Instagram, thank you. This is where the stats come in. Igor Shesterkin's save percentage. So I was right. His save percentage career in Edmonton is .886. That is not good.
Mm-hmm.
So that would not be ideal. But I mean, it's obviously going to be Igor tomorrow night. They're not starting Quick again. I wouldn't be surprised if Quick played on Saturday in Seattle.
I mean, I'm not saying Quick should be the starter, but I definitely think he could be a starter on a lot of other teams.
He probably could, but I would be worried with Quick with his age. Yeah, the stamina at that age to be a starter. I'd be concerned, and he's not a starter. Someone wrote to me, one of them when I was going through the DMs this morning, that, and I don't remember who it was, that Quick should be the starter for this team. Like, I sometimes I read stuff, gals. Sometimes I read stuff, and I say to myself, I'm a nice guy, and so I'm going to write back, be nice. But in my head, I'm like, whoa, like. Igor Shesterkin, go look at his stats up until the San Jose and Calgary game, and please. So we'll take some comments. We'll take Dennis's comment. If Sullivan was brought here to clean up the mess, bench players who don't buy in, sit players, then when will he be doing it? That is a good question. So if there was a player I was going to bench for lack of performance, and you guys can tell me if you would agree on this, but I'm thinking off the fly because we just took Dennis's question. If you said to me, you were going to bench someone to try and wake them up. Actually, I have two players I could name. The first one that I thought of came to me right away was Lafreniere. Miller I'm not going to do because I think he's hurt. But the second name that I was thinking I could bench would be Cooley. Because Cooley granted last night he had a nice assist on the goal, has had a really unexciting year with a lot of penalties.
I don't know if Lafreniere is mentally tough to handle that.
Is it a New York
mentally tough?
Well, guess what? If you're not mentally tough, then you know you can't be here.
Well, I'm just saying he's struggling already.
I had planned, but we're already at the 41-minute mark here, so we're not going to discuss it today. We'll save it for another day. At what point with Lafreniere, we alluded to it a little bit, does the value, as the value keeps plummeting, you have to at some point get rid of him before the value means nothing, or you've got another Brennan Othman, or you've got another Kratzov on your hand. Dennis wants to bench Panarin, and I'm not sure what that's accomplishing.
I don't want to bring up bad memories or anything like that, but just curious, how's Kakko doing lately?
He's been hurt. Kakko's been hurt.
Oh.
Yeah. Kakko has been hurt. A lot of players, we posted it the other day, there's like a lot of ex-Rangers that are playing. That got traded are all hurt. Andre Miller is one of them. He won't be playing Tuesday. So I thought that the tickets Tuesday, because I have 14 season tickets, tickets for season tickets. I thought that the Tuesday game when the schedule came out would be like not a hot ticket, but like a decent ticket because it was Andre Miller's return. And even before he got hurt, I was completely wrong. And it's not a good. It's not a ticket.
No one cares.
Do I think Gabe Perreault should be up? We'll take that question. So if Chris is still here, I'll let him chime in because it's his favorite topic to talk about. No, I do not. I think right now I don't have a problem with him getting more minutes down there in Hartford. But if the season were to spiral, and I don't think it will, and I'm not sure that it's going to get there, but if it does, I then think maybe at that point, if he's going to get, more playing time here, it's good. Yes.
So we do have some injuries. How many more injuries would you be comfortable bringing him up?
We should talk. Oh my God, we forgot to talk about this. I totally forgot.
What's that?
Matt Rempe injured
Rem sanity
on Thursday in a fight versus Ryan Reeves. Wow. Somebody said, and it might have been Nikolai, who's actually in the chat. If I think back to who told me this, I think it was Nikolai actually, who said to me on Thursday night after the game, where are all those Rempe lovers that say every time Matt Rempe gets in a fight, they win? Look what he does for the team. Rempe. Rempe got in a fight. He's now injured for months, and they lost to a team that had it once since March. So he can enjoy. I mean, hey, look, I never wish for a player to get injured, but it's not like I'm sitting here thinking that the Rangers are in trouble because Matt Rempe's not in the lineup.
I mean, you just said he was last episode. You said you liked how he was playing.
He'd been playing better. I shouldn't say I like how he was playing.
It seemed you
He's not
Rempe.
As Guardo was saying on the chat, he is not an NHL player at the bottom. As the bottom thing that he is saying there. A couple people are Stockton on Instagram as well as Chris talking about Connor Sheary. Connor Sheary last night had a couple plays to me that were not good. I forgot where it was. It was the second period. He had the puck and he just did nothing with it, where he was in like an opportunity where he could put the puck on net or make a play and did nothing. Now, people are going to accuse is not the right word. People are going to assume, and maybe it's right, that Connor Sheary is on this team and in the lineup because he is married to the niece of the head coach of the New York Rangers, Mike Sullivan.
Sounds about right.
I mean, I don't think it hurts, But I'd like to think that like politics and stuff that you may see in other phases of your life don't come into play when
I don't know. It's 21st
professional
century.
sports.
I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
People don't do the right thing.
And if you don't like Connor Sherry, which is fine, I mean, I agree, he hasn't been great. I'm not sure what the other alternative is. If you're not going to bring up Gabe Perreault, which I don't know that I would do, do you want me to bring up Brett Berard? I mean, okay.
That was the question. That was the original question before you went down Remsanity Road. Was how many more people need to get hurt or play bad before you bring up Gabe Perreault? Because you do have some injuries right now.
You would have to get to a point where you'd have to have 2 or 3 more injuries to score,
Really?
because then you have no choice, really.
Really?
Now, Chris, can we pull up Chris's comment? Because if you're watching, I'm going to read it because it's funny the way it's written.
Okay.
I'm going to read it, and then I'll let you figure out if you can figure out. So, Connor Sullivan hasn't scored since April of 2024. He's not a top 6 fill-in. The key word there by Chris is he didn't call him Connor Sheary. He called him Connor Sullivan because he's married to Sullivan's niece. Yes.
Wow.
But, Chris, I don't know that Sheary was brought here to be a goal scorer. And I think Connor Sheary is playing above his means, or playing in a spot that's not really where he meant to be because of the Trocheck injury. He started the year on the bottom 6. He's now been elevated to the top 6. That's why Trocheck coming back can really be helpful. Vakanainen or Robertson. Actually, Nikolai, I thought Robertson's been pretty good. I was at the Capital game. I thought he was one of their best defensemen the night I was there. So, and Nikolai's point is Sherry is dominant in the AHL. So, all right. So wrapping up the Ranger stuff. So the Rangers go Edmonton tomorrow night, Seattle on the road late night on Saturday, but it's a Saturday night and you get an hour sleep back as a daylight savings time. And then they are they're back at the Garden on Tuesday. If you know New York Ranger hockey, by the way, and you do, because you knew they could lose to San Jose and you knew they could lose to Calgary, you know that in the first game back, which Tuesday versus Carolina will be after a long road trip, you know they always lay an egg and don't play well. Always. So Chris is saying that's why you call up Gabe. Every New York NYR option has more goals on the Rangers since the start of the 2023-24 season than Connor Sullivan. Yes. Chris, now if Chris is saying to call up Gabe Perreault, and then Chris hates Gabe Perreault. He's already decided Gabe Perreault is a bust. But if Chris is saying call up Gabe Perreaux, then call up Gabe Perreault. I'm not saying
the other guys are really a bust.
Yeah. All right. NFL. We're just going to do picks because we're already way over time today. Way over time.
People are having fun. Alvin just joined us too.
Nice to see you, Alvin. Alvin was texting with me at 12:30 this morning, surprised that I stayed up. And yes, Guardo, Chris is saying that Gabe Perreault is a bust. He knows already. You can speak with him. He's in the chat. We are having, if you think the Ranger year is not gone as expected.
Okay, but go ahead.
I see. I don't want to talk about Gabe Perreault right now at the 48-minute mark of the show. If you think that the Rangers have been disappointing so far, my NFL picks have been worse. 2-6 on the year. Here are our picks for week number 9 in the NFL. I like the Bills plus 2.5 at home versus Kansas City. Yes, Kansas City's been better. The Bills won by a ton last week versus a bad Carolina team. The Bills need to redeem themselves for revenge from last year's playoffs. They're at home. I'm not saying this because of my wife. We all know she's a Bills fan. I'm taking the Bills plus 2.5 at home. I like the Patriots minus 5.5 at home versus the Falcons. I hate the Patriots, but I like them. And here's the thing. If they are for real, and Mike Vrabel has me thinking that they are, you beat the Falcons here by more than 5.5. Yeah. You just do. So I like the Patriots minus 5.5. I like the Steelers plus 3 at home versus the Colts. The Colts might probably been the best story in the NFL. But the Steelers need to respond from losing at home, and they're getting points. Give me the Steelers plus 3 at home versus the Colts. Give me the Broncos, who don't seem to lose, plus 1.5 on the road at Houston. Houston's overrated. Give me the Broncos plus 1.5. And lastly, I like the Bengals plus 2.5 at home versus the Bears. The Bengals lost to the Jets. I get it. You think they're not annoyed? Bears aren't that good. Give me the Bengals plus 2.5 at home versus the Bears. So to recap, I like the Bills plus 2.5 at home versus the KC. The Patriots minus 5.5. Home versus the Falcons, the Steelers at home plus 3 versus the Colts, the Broncos on the road plus 1.5 at Houston, and the Bengals at home plus 2.5 versus the Chicago Bears. Now, Chris is asking I want to pull this up. When is Jenny delivering a fresh loaf of bread? The old bread is stale and turning into breadcrumbs. Before the Montreal game, Panarin had no goals on the year, and I don't remember how many points he had at that point in time, but it wasn't good. We all know that we all love Chris around here, and people ask about Chris all the time. They ask him when he's coming on, and we can get him on. We've tried. But and we know that Chris is not a Panarin lover. Might be the biggest Panarin hater. My wife, Jenny from the block, big time Panarin fan.
Yeah.
We decided that Saturday, because we were driving through the area of New Jersey where he lives, that we were going to stop unannounced. Did you see this video? I posted it on the Instagram story. It's on video of her showing up at his doorstep with a loaf of Italian. No, at Chris's doorstep.
Oh, gotcha.
With a loaf of Italian bread to reaffirm and remind him the confidence in Panarin, who then 2 hours later had a 4-point game in Montreal.
Maybe that's the new tradition.
So the question is, does she need to go to Chris's address every time? Which
definitely for the Edmonton
probably not likely to do.
Definitely for some key games.
But maybe for some key games. Yes, and Guardo, that is true. There was a video. You can send me a DM on Instagram. I'll send you the video. My wife showed up at Chris's door with a loaf of bread last week. I have the whole thing is on video. I posted it on our story. If you want to see it, I'm not going to repost it again because we reposted it, but you can DM me. Or you can DM us on Instagram, and I will send anyone who wants the video.
I think you should do it for the Edmonton game. That'll be like the real test.
No, I'm not. But the problem was that was on a Saturday. I don't have time on a Thursday.
48 hours.
It's also supposed to be like Armageddon Storm Central here.
So do it today.
I'm not driving. Chris doesn't live that near me. And Nikolai's saying it's not weird. It's love. Yeah, because she loves Panarin. And Chris hates him. And and look, Chris got an Italian bread out of it.
I think if you do it and then he has a crazy game at Edmonton, you're onto something.
Yeah. Now Chris is saying, and he's right, there was a carryover. So that night he had 4 points. Then the next night Panarin scored a minute into the game? Oh no, Mika scored. Wait, who scored the goal versus Minnesota? No, it was Panarin. Panarin scored 58 seconds or something into the game.
So you don't have to do it every game. You do it and it carries over for a couple of days. It's like, well, how long did he eat the bread? Because maybe
I don't know if he ate the bread. Because maybe Jenny delivered it to him.
Maybe the slower you eat the bread, the more the power you can make it last longer.
The other thing that was nice, showing up at Chris's house unannounced on a Saturday. Chris is in a Ranger shirt. He's like, he plays the part. The bread is stale, so we may need to get Jenny from the block, or Dennis, who officiates soccer games locally, who Jenny knows really well. Maybe Jenny will deliver the bread to Dennis.
I think you should do however it was done last time, the exact same thing. And
okay,
to test this
so
theory.
we will have to do something, to get it going. Yes, Dennis, really well. We know. All right, so the Rangers tomorrow night in Edmonton, in Seattle, and then back home on Tuesday. That is it for us here. And Nikolai, I'm glad you enjoyed the side chat rather than football. You had a very minimal dose of football today. We were as short with football as I don't think we've ever been. So we thank the Bamboozle Project for their sponsorship as always. Go check out the bamboozleproject.com. Use promo code MYPB at checkout. Save yourself 20% off all your stuff. And we thank DraftKings as well. And we have Justo comment saying Connor Sherry for top line left wing as a joke. We will see what happens with Connor Sherry or Connor Sullivan. All of you guys that stayed up late last night, and gals, go get some rest because tomorrow is a 9:00 start, a little bit better. And we will go from there. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you next week.